I'm Chris from China Institute, and my question is that, Professor, do you think America is actually remaking itself in the sense that domestically it's consolidating power, both in terms of power division and how it deploys power even against its people, you see ICE in Minnesota, and also internationally how it exercises power in case of Venezuela and potentially in Iran and Greenland? Do you think that this is because last year we saw in the NSS last year, a lot of people are actually thinking the United States is actually retreating back to its own hemisphere. Do you think that's a strategic deception in a sense that's actually pulling back this fist in order to punch more forcefully, unilaterally, picking away multilateral institutions? That's my question. And also to Professor Zhang, do you think the other major countries in the world are actually prepared for this scenario? Thank you very much.
I think there is an attempt at executive control of power in the United States that is outside of the Constitution. Trump is trying to consolidate a government through executive orders, presidential decrees, and pushing aside the other institutions of government. And that applies both in domestic affairs and in international affairs. In international affairs, we're already 3/4 of the way there, because in the international affairs, we're already a military state and have been a security state for decades. So there's very little public scrutiny or constitutional control or congressional control over the CIA, covert operations, and even war, which is largely at the order of U.S. presidents. Not entirely, I say 75%. Domestically, Trump is also trying to consolidate power, especially together with Silicon Valley, a surveillance state, a militarized state in the cities. My opinion is that neither will succeed in the end, most likely, because there isn't public backing for this. Trump is not a popular figure. He's a highly divisive figure. He is an unpopular person. He is not Hitler in the late 1930s with a lot of support of the German people. He is not a would-be king with a lot of support. He is an unpopular figure by and large. His policies are not popular. He is not answering the issues of his own base in terms of economic well-being, and he can't, because there's no economic strategy that he has. Grabbing Venezuela will not enrich MAGA followers, not on any timeline imaginable, not even in the long term. So he has no strategy, and he has an approval rating below 40%, and it's going down. And what we don't know is whether the other institutions of power, the Congress and the courts, can sustain themselves against an executive onslaught. We don't know that. The Supreme Court has not made any decisive move against Trump's grab for power. It might, but it might not. Congress so far has done nothing, but it's in the hands of his party. This is likely to go away in the November elections, because it's very likely that one or both houses of Congress will go to the other party. And then Trump may say, I arrest you all, or I ignore you all, or whatever, or he may be limited by his unpopularity, his old age, and a tremendous incompetence of the people around him. These are nasty people, but they're also incompetent people. And so that's another element of the dynamic right now.
Yeah, concerning Chris' question, I gave a brief answer. The idea is, it reminds me of your conversation the other day in Serbia, and you said this gist of this security strategy is not anti-Russia, not anti-China, but it's anti-everyone else, something like that. In China, I would say, 欺软怕硬, bully the weak, and respect the strong. So this is the message. And also read this interesting interview given by former Australian Prime Minister Keating. He said we have to give some credit to Donald Trump because he may be able to avoid nuclear. He has decent respect for all nuclear powers.